Some people just want to watch world fun.
Jeff nails another draft day.
Nailed
Makes
it.
top 5 has 98.
I got
Mason
one more.
just loves him some Kevin James.
Fucking Kevin James.
It's the history of bad.
It's bad.
It's the history of bad.
So bad.
It's the history of bad ideas. It's the history of bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's the history of bad. It's the history of bad ideas. Podcast.
This episode of Hobie is sponsored by Hello Jeff. Save 20% off your first meal box with promo code HobiePod.
Please note that any comments, jokes, questions, maybe anything that we say on the history of bad ideas is all in good fun. And remember, we insult everybody. Our thoughts, opinions, questions, anything else, actions that we do on the show do not reflect any of our employers, organizations, advertisers, or anyone else that is associated with the history of bad ideas. And remember, at the end of the day, it's just a joke. Welcome to the History of Bad Ideas, episode number 468. Yeah, I'm Jason.
Oh, I'm waiting for Jeff, but he's not here.
Nope.
I'm Blake.
Oh, anyone else here? No.
What?
Well, we're getting there. We have Blake and myself are here. Jeff, Jim, and Brian all have furry rabies. Is that what it was called? I think it's furry rabies.
Yes.
And so they're out this week, but we're going to get some people on. We're going to play Skype Roulette. We're going to add people throughout the day, the recording here. We have no idea what this is going to look like, but sure, we're going to go with it. I think
Awesome.
Sean from the Pittsburgh Nerd is going to be here.
I know. It's like a revolving door of guests. I mean, we've got people from all over the place, even people I've never spoken to before.
I've spoken to them on Twitter, and I spoke to Sean. I've been on his show, Pittsburgh Nerd, before.
Yeah.
I've not.
That's because you're special.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Brian might be stopping by. Besotted Geek might stop by.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. So
Yeah, we should ping Heno.
yeah, right. Like Heno's there. Come on.
We're too small. We're too small time for him.
We're not a political podcast, Blake. That's why.
Yeah. Moving the needle.
That's right. So, Blake, are you excited about Thanksgiving week?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I need some time off.
Are you off tomorrow, or just?
Well, no, I'm doing mostly a day's work tomorrow, but I do get to leave early.
Okay.
And then I'm off Thursday, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not working Friday. Pfft, what fool works Friday? Come on.
Jeff.
Yeah. Well, then Saturday, guess what I get to do?
What do you get to do?
I'm going to the game.
Let's see. Bengals?
The game.
Rutgers?
Buckeyes against that school up north.
Oh, Michigan State?
Sure.
Are you actually going to the game?
I'm actually going to the game.
Nice.
It's a bucket list item I've always wanted to do.
Okay.
And a couple weeks ago, my better half got tickets for us to go to Ohio State versus Iowa. And I have a fraternity brother who tailgates there every Saturday for like the past 20 years. And he tailgates they got a special spot close to the stadium, close to the shoe. And so I usually try and get up there for one tailgate to enjoy the experience, and because it's a lot of fun, obviously. And so we're at the Iowa game, and drunk Blake is there, and she says, "Hey, Michigan is in a couple weeks." I'm like, "Let's do it, yeah!" And of course, sober Blake realizes drunk Blake obligated himself to the game, and next thing I know, I'm several $100s for her.
I was going to ask you, was that a bad money fiscal choice?
It was, but I was also going to wrap my brother-in-law into going too, because my sister and my brother-in-law is coming in from Nebraska, and he's a big Buckeye fan, and I was trying to make it a big bucket list thing for him too, but he's already been to the game except he was in that stinky place up north, that Smelly Harbor. And,
with
he said he almost
pants?
got beat up. He said he almost got beat up there.
Let's be real.
Mean people up there. But so yeah, he backed out, and they got plenty of things to do. So I'm like, that's fine. That's fine.
So is it just
you're
you
in
and your
town
wife
for the
going?
weekend. I'll let it go.
Is it
that?
you and your wife?
Yeah. So me and then my sister-in-law, my better half sister, her daughter is a junior at Ohio State, and she hasn't done a big Ohio State game yet. And this is the last chance for a big, to catch them against that school up north.
Yeah.
So she's graduating next year, and of course it's an away game next year. So she was like, yeah, maybe I'll do it. And I said, well, let's rope her in. And her boyfriend is a big Buckeye fan too. So the next thing I knew, I was obligated. Drunk Blake obligated. Sober Blake.
Don't you hate that too? Like when you get obligated to do stuff, and then you're like, "Crap, that was my idea." Damn it!
Well, Drunk Blake cost Sober Blake an awful lot of money. Drunk Blake's wallet's a lot thicker than Sober Blake's, unfortunately.
I went to Ohio. I went up there to visit friends. For this was when I was like 22 and 21, 22, and it was the Michigan game versus Ohio State, and I did not go to the game, but my God, did I party from noon on.
Dude, well, you have like what, 60,000 drunk students partying on the weekend. I mean, it's pretty insane. I used to love going there for road trips back in the day too.
I remember.
I think one of my old roommates was one of my old schoolmates from high school. One of his roommates was in the band, and he actually had the banana. And they're like, "This is the banana." I'm like, the big banana that they have at every game. I was like, "Well, that's pretty cool." He's like, "Yes, touch the banana."
So this is how bad I am. Like I'm not even an Ohio State fan. I'm not a Michigan fan either. But
you shouldn't be. Go ahead.
When I went up there, I didn't even realize that was the game that day.
Wow, they're really having fun this weekend.
I'm like, this shit's crazy. There's burning a couch over there. I was like, what the fuck's going on? They're like, this is the Michigan Ohio State game. I don't know what that means.
Well, what's that?
And they're like,
well, see, but you're forgiven. You're in this little corner called Southwest Ohio.
Yes,
and this is the only part of Ohio that is not Buckeye fan. It is amazing because being from the opposite corner of the state, I mean, my sports every weekend was, it was school up north. It was Toledo, Bowling Green, Akron, Kent State, Cleveland State, Youngstown State, Ohio State, and OU, Miami. I was like, they covered everything. And then I get down here, and you can't get any coverage other than UC and Kentucky. And I'm like, Kentucky sucks at football. I mean, why are they giving radio time to UK football? I never understood. And then everybody in Cincinnati is like, no, we're not Ohio State fans. I'm like, well, what state do you live in? I find it, amazing that there was just this, apathy towards Ohio State. And then I realized you got big school envy. Eventually, you see, they want to get into that same level as Ohio State, but Ohio State doesn't want them to get on the same level too. So I'm sure when it comes to like B1G expansions, Ohio State's like, we want no other school other than Ohio State, which is kind of a dick move too. But I would have loved to see if UC could have gotten, instead of Big 12, right? They're going to the Big 12.
Yeah.
Was it next year or the year after?
Next year.
They finally get in, and everybody important's leaving.
Yeah.
It's like you just jump to another All-American conference again.
Let's be real. There's going to be like 3 conferences by the end of all this anyways.
Yeah, I know. So, but I was really happy UC had that great run. I mean, obviously a lot of Ohio State coaches bump to UC and move on to bigger schools, and hey, I'm a homer, right? I root for the Bearcats. I'll root for everybody except for the Bengals during regular season, except for when they played, Schittsburg and the Murderers up there in Baltimore.
We're going to get to that in a minute when I get Sean in here.
Yeah. I always find it interesting that it was the college sports scenes here in Southwest Ohio is so small as compared to when I grew up, because you were following every school up there, and what was going on. Didn't matter if it was Big Ten or MAC or All American Conference or
I feel like growing up, because UC sucked in football growing up. Like, I felt like this was more because of the German Catholics in Southwest Ohio. I felt like it was a more Notre Dame town, and I hate Notre Dame. So
there's a lot of Notre Dame fans here too, especially in the family I married into. They're a big Catholic family. They're like, Notre Dame. I'm like, it's Ohio State, Notre Dame, and I tell them to move to Kentucky.
Yeah. My family is my dad was more Navy because he was in the Navy, so.
Oh, there you go.
Of course,
I knew there's a reason why I liked your dad.
See, there you go.
We almost beat Notre Dame a couple weeks ago.
I know. Yeah, Navy just won this past week too.
Yeah. This was like the second time ever we beat a ranked 25 team on the road. I think it's UCF. So, So it's pretty. The other thing is I've never been to an Army Navy game. And I think maybe that's on my bucket list. Maybe one of those times I'll try and swing by and do that too.
I would do an Army-Navy game. I think that would be fun. I think that would be a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter what the record is.
You just got to get used to triple option running plays every day.
So how many passing plays was there in the game? 6.
2? I don't know. How many passing plays? There was 6. How many interceptions? 3.
How many completions? 2.
2. Not counting the interception.
He had a passing rate of 7. Thanks.
Yes.
Well, let me bring.
But that's how the schools have to compete.
Yeah.
It's actually against the big boys, and they do really well at it because they're really good at running the triple option because you just need an athletic quarterback.
And nobody else does it. I mean, they run the ball more than anybody.
Yeah, exactly. And you're going to face a team that uses it maybe once or twice a season if it's not Navy or Army every year.
Unless you're TCU that learns how to run onto the field and kick a field goal with 7 seconds left.
Yeah, that too. That helps.
Did you see that? That was the craziest thing I've ever seen. So
you want to talk about a good execution? That was awesome.
TCU, for those that don't know, they were down by 2, I think. 2 or 1.
Yeah. Yep.
And they run a play with 22 seconds left on their opponent's 30, and on Baylor's 30 or whatever, or 25, and they didn't have any timeouts left. So the time clock kept going, and they had to basically switch off the offense, switch on the special teams, and the kicker, without any breaks, had everything set up within 6 seconds and with 6 seconds left and was able to kick it through for the game winner. And they interviewed the coach. He's like, "Yeah, we do it every Thursday." It's like it was seamless because most field goals they take their time, they call timeout. It's like
or there's always 12 men on the field. Somebody who forgets their assignment that they're not supposed to be on the field for that play, for that kick. And that's exactly that is a great example of a well-coached team because you prepare for any situation.
Yep.
And you practice it and you execute it. And when the time comes, there's no doubts. There's no, oh, hey, what am I doing? There's no, the kicker's not going, well, wait a minute. Everybody gets out there. They run, they set, snap, boom, ball up. And then, that is a well-coached team. And that head coach for TCU obviously does a good job, and the special teams guy does a good job. And those are somebody that you would want your kid to play for.
Well, and
a coach
also
like that,
especially since it's a crapshoot of kickers in college. You don't know if there's 6 good kickers in college, so you don't know what you're getting half the time.
Yep.
So let me bring Sean in here. Let me see if he's there. We're going to play some roulette here.
Oh. Yeah, let's talk about let's talk about Ohio sports for an international podcast.
We're going to call him here.
All right, him. Calling Sean.
It's roulette time. Let's see if we got him. I don't know. It's been a long time since. It says over a year ago we talked to Sean.
What?
Yeah. Or I talked to him. I think it was on the show.
I feel like I talk to him every day because I read his questions.
I do. Yeah, you do, actually. Oh, well, I don't know about him. Let me call...
What? I was looking forward to Sean. Fuck you, Sean.
Oh, Sean is here. Wait a minute. Hey.
Oh, wait.
Just
Hey,
he said,
Sean.
fuck you, Sean. He comes in.
Wow.
Sean, welcome from Pittsburgh Nerd. We are recording this now. How are you doing?
So Blake telling me to go fuck myself is actually
Yeah, it's on the show. We got it.
you know.
Whoops. Can we edit that out later?
Nope.
Nothing but love for you, Blake. Nothing but love, man.
So, Sean.
No, we're doing roulette, and we're like, Sean's up. And you're like, Sean's not answering. Fuck that guy. No, here he is. Yay, Sean. That's what I'm doing, Sean. I love you, man. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I was shooing a cat away, so you know.
You were shooting a cat?
Shooing.
Oh,
Shoo.
okay.
Oh, yes, he was shooing his pussy away.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Sabine was up on the desk, and I had to shoo her away.
Which is a great name. Sabine.
Thank you. Well, we got a new cat too. His name is Darby Allen.
Does it skateboard?
He does not. But he is relentless. I will give him that.
Blake, Darby Allen is a wrestler from AEW Wrestling. Just to let you know. And he named
now
his
I
cat
get the reference.
Yes. You just need one more cat, Sean, named Sting. That just hangs around with him. It's got to be like 80 years old, though.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Yeah. That would be kind of cool. But
it would have to have a black and white face, too, right? With the weird pattern in the front.
Like, would go with like a tuxedo cat. They're black and white, and then, you know.
Time out. Cats wear tuxedos?
The sharp dress ones do, Jay.
Oh, okay.
There is a certain breed of cat. They're usually the black and white cats that they're called tuxedo cats.
Oh,
because they're usually black on top and white on the bottom, like they're wearing a tuxedo.
Isn't there a song like that called "Sharp Dressed Cat"? Is that Sharp Dressed Man?
Yes.
Boo.
Sorry.
Boo.
Well, you know what they are.
That's okay. We're doing cold. We're going in cold, Sean.
Yeah.
We're just winging it. Everybody is sick. We're trying to step our game up.
We have failed.
We're failing pretty well.
Yes.
I'm sorry to hear that there has been a breakout of furry rabies in the Cincinnati area.
We actually talked about that. It is furry rabies.
It is furry rabies. And
well, it was funny because, well, not funny, but
I'm a fan of the show. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I know. I appreciate that.
I mean, I know Blake does not listen to my show at all, so any reference I make to my show will be completely lost on him. But, you know, I do listen to you, Blake. I was a big fan to tell me to go fuck myself.
Well, you know, if I had the time, I would listen to your podcast, Sean. Trust me. I would.
You're a busy man.
I am a busy man.
I get it.
I am a busy man. Fortunately, I was out last week, but when, you know, Jeff and everybody else was in, you know, spreading furry rabies around the podcast, you know, so.
I'm fine.
It's got to be tough having those 4-hour sessions of Dungeons and Dragons. I get it.
That is true. I mean, as long as I keep trying, you know, to help the guys win the game, we just can't get Jason's strategy down.
That's tough.
You know, I'm just saying that it was 30 minutes for me, and I beat the game this past week. Brian was sick.
Yeah, you know, they have those you know, walk-in game sessions at the local game stores. Jason's banned.
So we do have a gaming.
Yeah. Same thing with Brian, the intern. He's banned too. They have pictures of him now up in the game stores around, you know, Cincinnati. They're no longer allowed to participate.
It's not my fault that I'm just smarter than the average D&D person.
Yeah, and when you beat the game like that in 30 minutes, Jason, nobody buys their goods or materials. That's why you're kicked out.
To be fair, when I played by myself, I didn't include any dragons. I just did dungeons. That's all I did. So,
and then the annoying character's got a ring of infinite wishes and just keeps fucking up everything.
I have a lot of ents. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Sean, let me ask you this. So, you're a cat man. You have cats.
Yes.
My biggest thing is Brian's been yelling at me. You can just leave cats for a week and just keep food and water out, right? And they're fine, right? You don't have to ration them.
No, like, I mean, in all honesty, like, I mean, anytime I've taken a trip, what I'll do is, like, I have my parents, like, you know, just come by once a day.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure they've got plenty of food, plenty of water, and, clean the litter box.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, they're here for 15 minutes and they're gone.
Yeah.
With dogs, that's a whole nother production. But yeah, with cats, you can pretty much leave them alone. I just having somebody stop by.
They don't leave surprises for you around the house, like in your bed or in your shoes, on your favorite chair.
Are you talking to his parents or the cats?
Talking about his cats.
I've never had that problem, but in all honesty, like I've taken so few trips like that where I've had to have somebody come and like take care because I don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't been a problem, but like my parents have, and I've just gone and taken care of their cat. I'm there for, I'm usually there a little longer because I'm willing to like sit down and pet the cat and talk to it and stuff like that because I'm a goofball like that. But otherwise, no, like there's no problem. I'm just I'm just gonna make sure you a little food in your bowl. Here's a little water. You scoop your litter. You're good to go.
Man.
Would you? So
nice, so easy. I mean, I adopted a cat that I found in an alleyway when I lived in Italy, and I called it. I named him Benito, the dictator cat, as a joke because he basically ruled everything. Right? He even ate pasta. Yeah, even penny arrabbiata. It was awesome. And I would go away on long weekends, and that little dictator bastard, would shit in my bed. He'd shit on my papasan. He would shit in my shoes, and I couldn't leave him alone for weekends or a week anymore because that's like I said, he was a dictator cat, and that's what he did.
I've heard of behavior like that. I'm sure there's a reason for it psychologically that they're like, but like for the most part, like I've never had a problem like that myself. With one of my parents, so.
I think it's just.
I mean, I love that cat. I mean, that cat was awesome. He'd sit on my shoulder like a parrot.
Are you sure it wasn't a parrot?
Any cat that's going to ask you how the gabagool is, you got a good cat.
Gabagool.
I got more stories about my cat, but Benito. But I don't think any people want to listen to him. Go ahead.
I would listen to the stories about Benito all day, but you're right. I'm sure it's me and maybe 3 other people, and we're not.
I'm not one of them. I'm a dog person.
I always wondered what my Italian neighbors thought because they said, "Oh, you have a gatto," and I'm like, "Yeah, his name is Benito, El Gatto Dictatore." And they're like, "Hey, that's pretty funny." They thought it was pretty funny, but behind closed doors, like that American's an asshole.
Yeah, that American son of a bitch.
Everybody thinks World War II is a joke.
Yeah.
Let me get Brian.
We strung them up. We took care of things.
Did we?
Well, they did. I'm saying, not us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did overthrow. They did overthrow him and hang him in a town square, I think.
Allegedly.
Okay, we'll throw that on there. Yeah.
Yeah, but you remember, if you remember, Italy was on the winning side.
Well, yeah, after they switched.
Well, yeah, that's the best part. That's the best part about Catch 22. Reading that book when I forget what's his name, young, talking to the old Italian guy. Sitting there saying, yeah. We've been here before. We've been here now. We'll be here forever. But you, United States of America, you won't be.
Well, the way things are going, we may not be.
He's like, well, you're on the losing side. He's like, no, we're actually on the winning side.
It's like a pro wrestling move where like they like turned heel all of a sudden on their tag team partner. Like, oh no, we're not on your side anymore.
Are you? So Italy is the big show of the world.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly.
Big Show, Blake, literally turned like 26 times good guy and bad guy in the WWE. Like it was
26 times? I mean, doing it once or twice. Okay.
Yeah, he did it a lot. I think he's already turned 5 times in AEW, and he's only an announcer now. So
yeah, he's just an announcer. So I mean, like 1 week he's a good guy announcer, 1 week he's a heel announcer. It's hysterical,
That Darby Allin sucks. The next week, man, that Darby Allin, I can't get enough of this guy. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Sean's here. Sean, where can we find you? First off.
Well, my podcast, the Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast, can be found on many different podcatchers. You can find me on social media on just search Pittsburgh Nerd on Facebook, and as long as it's still around, Twitter.
Is it true that I've heard that you guys are buying Twitter?
Well, I mean, we are working up the cash. I did send a DM to Elon Musk, offering it in IOUs because that is as good as cash.
Good call.
And he hasn't returned my DM.
To be fair, I think he's answering everybody else's non-DMs. So he's a little busy.
Yeah.
It's like Blake. He's busy. He can't listen to a podcast, but,
Yeah. What are we talking about?
Elon Musk.
No, I'm kidding. Yes.
Yeah, I am trying to buy Twitter. I feel I've got the gross capital in IOUs, but we shall see. It's a pipe dream.
I'm shocked.
If it's not that, I'm going to buy the Washington Commanders.
Oh, that's a good call.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I feel like Twitter has more of an upside.
Why would you want to punish yourself like that?
I would change their name immediately. I don't know to what, but something. Just right away. Just to piss off all the fans again.
Why don't you just pick something that's offensive to everybody, just so everybody knows where you stand right off the bat?
Oh. I would be like
it's the Washington Jagoffs.
Oh.
There you go.
I like it.
But I would go back to like the uniforms. Like I think the biggest mistake they made was changing our uniforms. I love the Washington football team's uniforms, but they changed them completely. I'm like, oh, this is just trash.
How about this? Sorry about this, but
could you the helmet that I always liked was the old traditional one with the spear with the feathers. I mean, you can't even do that anymore. It's an inanimate object.
Come on.
Only at Florida State.
Okay.
Could you imagine? Well, it's Florida. They don't give a shit. They're like, fuck you.
Well, technically, the University of Florida State will tell you that they do have permission from the local tribe to use
Seminoles,
the imagery. The Seminole tribe to use the imagery in the name.
If you know what Dan Schneider should have done, because he hates everybody and everybody hates him, he should have changed their name to the Commanders and then never changed the logo. Just still have that logo up there. What? You told me I had to change my name. Good job, Dan.
That would be a very Dan Schneider-like move.
It would.
I agree. Yeah.
Could you imagine the outrage at that? And I'm not laughing at that. I'm just laughing because that would be something Dan Schneider would do. Like, fuck you. I'm not selling. Let me see if Brian's here. He wasn't there. Where is he? This is what you get for...
But Sean, you've been podcasting, I think, as long as we have, at least, haven't you?
Yes, I've got episode 500 coming up in a few weeks. So it's like 9.5 years at this point.
Oh my gosh! So you actually were ahead of us slightly then.
Yeah,
slightly.
Or I should say ahead of Jason slightly. Yes,
Jason and Jeff. Me and Jeff.
Yes, Jason and Jeff.
Yeah, I think I've got a couple month head start on them.
Isn't that weird too, Sean? Like just to see like how long it's been. Like you turn around and you're like, oh shit, I'm doing this 7 years, 8 years, like almost a decade. Like what the fuck?
Well, I mean, to me, for at least from my point of view, for our podcast, it shows a dedication to mediocrity that nobody else has.
I like it.
But you're right. Like it is funny to kind of like look around and like I think back to like when we started, and like the community and like how things have changed over the years and how podcasting has changed, and like I tell somebody I have a podcast and they're like, oh, so what true crimes do you cover? I'm like, no, we don't do that.
You should just make up some true crime.
I should. That would be awesome. Like completely fictitious true crimes. Like, and like people would be like, well, I didn't know about this.
Yeah, it could be. It would even be better if he became like an overnight sensation.
Yeah,
and everybody was fooled. Yeah.
I'd have to, but I feel like I sold my soul, even though it's completely fictitious. I still would have felt like, I sold my soul to make money in podcasting.
You shouldn't. So,
well, I do this, and it's called the definition of insanity. I don't even know why I do it.
Because
why do
you
I do
enjoy
this,
it.
Oh, okay.
Anybody who asks me, like, well, if you're not successful, like, why do you do it? Like, well, I guess it depends on how you define success. Mm-hmm. But the other side of that is it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a reason for me and Ian to get together once a week, sit down and talk about the stuff we would have talked about anyway.
Yeah.
It's just now we're doing it in front of a microphone.
And then imagine all the people that have come inside, within the circle, and you're like, hey, great. And then they fade away or disappear, or they're done after a season or 20 episodes. And I'm like, hey, then they sit there and think, I've been doing the same thing over and over again. I'm like, yeah, maybe I am crazy.
But I think mentally for me, like, this is a nice form of cheap therapy. Like, I can have a shitty day and be like, damn, I'm exhausted. I don't feel like talking to anybody. And then my wife's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Go down there and do it because it always makes you feel better. And within 5 minutes, I'm better, like instantly. And so I think it's a nice stress reliever. You don't have to think about anything except the weird things of, geek culture for 2 hours a week, hour and a half a week.
Yeah.
Cool.
And for us,
but also
what's that?
It is an excuse to get together with your friends.
Yeah.
You hang out, you break bread, you chill, you talk off the pod, then you get on. So I mean, it's definitely for like me, like it's probably for you guys as well. It's a way to stay bonded. And
our biggest thing at the beginning was that, and we've said this many times, is we wanted more than 50 listeners. If we can hit 50 listeners, and then when we got past that, it's like, oh my god, like, why are people listening? And even now, like, it's amazing, like, to see, like, just how many people listen. You're like, what the hell? Like, oh my god, people like us.
Who's downloading us from Ghana?
Yeah. And then just to see, like, what it's done for us, like, with the Cincinnati Comic Expo, September 22nd through the 24th. Like,
Plug.
There you go. Tickets CincinnatiComicExpo.com in February. Anyways, but like just to like the experiences of that, like interviewing Christopher Lloyd, it was awesome. Like doing his panel, like doing that stuff is like something you're never going to get. Like, we're not making millions of dollars on this, but like that experience to do that is awesome.
That's pretty cool. Riding the back elevator up with Richard Dreyfuss and his wife/agent talking about guns.
Yes. You're never going to what's that?
When you posted those pictures of Christopher Lloyd, like when you're doing that panel, the level of jealousy I had was absolutely insane.
Well,
because not too long before that, he was in Pittsburgh at the Steel City Con.
Yes.
And I was standing in line to get Darby Allin's autograph. And he hadn't showed up yet. So we were standing around for a while, and I told Nancy, look, I'm going to get something to drink. I'll be right back. So as I'm standing in line for the concession stand, security comes through like, make a hole. And here comes Christopher Lloyd walking with security, and hand to God, he's like, oh, what are we having for lunch today? I'm hoping it's a hot dog. And it's like, that's like my moment of like brushing with greatness. It's like, there goes the great Christopher Lloyd asking about having hot dogs for lunch.
It is pretty cool. I will admit, almost getting run over by William Shatner when he stole Andrew's, scooter.
Yes.
When he was leaving.
Then 2 months later, I see pictures of Jason with Christopher Lloyd on stage. I'm like, that motherfucker.
That's right.
I should have told him about my hot dog story.
Well, I could have asked him. Did you have
hot dog?
Well, and I think part of it is like it's an honor. It's a big honor for them to trust us with that, with the panels and that. But like, just to be up there is awesome. But I think part of it is that we don't get starstruck a lot. Like none of us on here, like it's really cool. Like it is amazing. But like none of us are there like, hey, can I get my selfie with you afterwards? Because during these
or trying to act like Marty McFly during the interview.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
But you do see this like so I watch a lot of conventions panels to kind of figure out what they like and all that stuff. And like you see some of these, and I'm not saying I'm the best at all, but like you see these panels and you're like, these moderators are like, hey, let me get a selfie with you. I was like, what? Like if you're interviewing somebody, not that you're on the red carpet, but say you're on the red carpet, you're not going to say, give me a selfie. Come here. Like,
I know we have an audience of 500 people here, but can you sign these DVDs for me while we talk?
Just bring them a case of DVDs.
You know, it is kind of funny because Jason, we talk about it when you see it on YouTube, and you know, just the lack of self-awareness that some of those people have for these Comic Cons or expos. You know, when you're interviewing people, just treat them like a normal person, and be respectful. You know, like my job's to get so-and-so, out of the, autograph signing or the green room and up to the stage, hand them off to Jason. And that's my job. My job's not to sit there and go, well, hey, in Back to the Future, how did you know it was 1.21 gigawatts? And what about that DeLorean?
Well, and we won't go.
That one episode in season 9 where you were, which we've seen questions asked where the person's like, what? I've been in this for 20 years. What are you talking about? But
I was really high when we did Taxi. I don't remember anything.
Everybody was high during Taxi, Sean.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, wait, that was the 80s. They were on cocaine.
That was 70s, wasn't it?
Or 70s.
Yeah.
70s or 80s? Yeah.
I was one of those bleeders. I get started in the late 70s and wrapped up in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it like I said, it is September 22nd through 24th. I'm being told Brian is now on. So we're going to see if he can get in here. This is history making. If you guys are good enough, we're just going to start firing people and bring you guys back every week.
Yeah.
I am giddy with anticipation.
Maybe not. He may not be there. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Fuck Brian Howard. Oh, hello? Wait a minute. He was on. Did he hear me say fuck that guy and hung up?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I'm joking. Mr. Hour.
Let me see if this guy's it. He gave me another name. Let me see if this is it. This is good old live. Nope. Hey, there he is.
Hello.
Hey. How you doing, Brian?
Yeah, I really love that guy.
So the theme this week, Brian Ow is here.
Hour.
Thank you for calling Sex Line. I'm Nancy.
Ooh, hi, Nancy.
You look randy.
So
With an eye.
The theme is we couldn't get you on, and every time we've been playing Skype Roulette with different people. Every time we can't get someone on, Blake's like, "Fuck that guy, screw them." So Brian, welcome. We got Sean here, Blake's here.
I'll do.
I don't know who else we're going to get, but we may get more people. I'm not sure yet.
Not a problem.
So
this is the Brian Hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This is the Fire Fett.
Bowerfett, yeah.
That's awesome. Because I've never met you, but I read your stuff every week. It's a pleasure to finally speak to you.
Thank you. I've met Jeff and let's see, who was it? Well, I guess that's when I met Steve and Izzy. We're all on once.
Okay. Good old Steve and Izzy. They had another podcast to do tonight. Those bastards. So
they got to sell. They got to sell all those buttons they make.
That's true. Hey, I think we buy some of those.
Yeah.
September 22nd through 24th, Cincinnati Comic Expo. Brian, I'm glad you're here because Sean and Blake were talking about cats, and I don't like cats, and so I need another dog person. And I
we've been talking about cats
on
for about 45 minutes now. What's your take on cats, Brian?
They're okay. I have nothing against them, but give me a dachshund over a cat most days.
Well, I know how we ended up talking to Sean eventually 8.5 years ago or more. But Mr. Hour, how is it that you've come into the podcast circle?
It's a good question.
Well, it goes back a long time ago for a lot of tech podcasts I used to be involved with. And then a little other Cincinnati podcast got me involved with a lot of other sort of became the gateway drug through a lot of them. And that was a Couple Things podcast.
Yes. Are they still doing it?
They've been on hiatus for like 3 years now.
Oh, okay. They're coming back.
It's just a hiatus.
When one of them go off and had,
it's not a divorce.
No, they one of them went off and had a baby.
Oh, yeah, that takes a lot of time.
And then so takes some time to recuperate and get back to normalcy after having a baby. And they were supposed to start up, I guess, this spring again. They put a post out both to me and Palmer on the, hey, we're about to start up again, and have not heard from them yet.
We're going to start up in 3 years.
So it's to me always weird because the tech podcast going to the Potter family podcast, there's such a interesting circle of people that I run across that were involved in both sides of it. Mm-hmm. So cool. From a couple things got me over to introduce me to, of course, Agent Palmer from there, and then also over to Neil and Annalise, and it just branched out from there. Got over to the Hobie Hobie that way. Also got up to 7 Days a Geek and the podcast up there. So,
and it is funny, like Sean, you can attest to this too. Like, there's not like with our group, like this circle that expands. It seems like every year we expand with more people, and I don't, like you said, we just kind of go to them or they come to us. It's always funny. Like, there's really no like competition. Like, no one ever gets mad that you're listening to somebody else. It's like, oh, good for you. Like, you're doing this. Like, great job. Nobody cares that, because everybody knows that you're not making millions of dollars off this. Well, at least I'm not. Sean, are you?
In fact, I owe money.
Hey, I'm going to open up an Hobie IOU exchange, because I seen, with the FTX, I can make a lot of money and then declare bankruptcy.
I feel like that's on the up and up, the FTX.
Yeah.
What's that, Brian?
I think that's amazing that worked.
Yes. Again, it was another scam that continues to work. How does this happen?
Oh, well, no, FTX is much more different if you actually read into it than most other scams. All right. When you have two different businesses, and one is an actual coin exchange, and the other one is a
Hobie coin,
and the other one is an actual investment firm, the two are not supposed to be mixing. And so when the investment firm then is short money and gets a loan from the coin exchange and then backs it with a NFT token they issued to themselves.
Yes.
That's where the weirdness gets sad.
It just amazes me, like, and again, I'm not the smartest man out there, but like with cryptocurrency, like we talked about this last week, like I had friends that were like, I'm buying this cryptocurrency for 0.01 cents per, and I'm like, but he's like, I'm buying, a couple of them were like, I'm buying $1,000 worth, because if that goes up to even 10 cents, look how much money I got. I was like, but it's not. Like, you're doing an offshoot of an offshoot of an offshoot crypto. Like, it's not going to happen.
Being in IT, I have seen people where they can make money on crypto. Usually it's because they have done something like they run a farm that someone else is paying the power for on something like that. But
I could use my PS5 for something now that I'm not playing Skyrim.
But on this is equivalent of you borrowing money from the bank to make your house payments, and you're going to give the bank a blank check from the bank account, just not signed, as collateral for that loan.
And then you could do a lot of money laundering in between there, and kickbacks and bribes. And
today was going back reading over it, and just the amount of property they bought in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They actually own the Bahamas now.
Right. So we have Hobie coin, Jason. We just need to get that investment firm thing going.
Hey, Sean, you got an investment firm over there?
No, I don't. I don't even have a funny quip. I'm sorry. I was trying to think of something and I just punted that one.
Well, think of it this way. Hello Jeff is going to borrow from Hobie Coin money to cover Hello Jeff, and to actually back it, they're going to give Hobie Coin empty Hello Jeff boxes that they fill at a later time.
Brian, I feel like you need to write a book and use Hobie coin and Hello Jeff as your examples to explain
and
the
Jim's
FTX
No Nut
crash.
November care packages.
It's the Big Short, but it's the Big Hobie now. That's what we're doing with.
Yeah.
It's amazing, the Hobie verse.
Yeah.
But
where do the cats fit in? That's the only problem, Sean.
They keep
Where do
knocking
the
shit
cats
off the
fit
corners of the table, Blake.
Cats are fine as long as you give them an empty box.
Or just,
which apparently is, Hello Jeff.
Yeah.
in? Oh man. This is going to be a great Ponzi scheme. I'm buying $1,000 worth, Jason.
Let's do it.
The only thing worse than this is any HOA environment. Hey, you're going to pay money to an HOA that we're going to make sure we keep the upkeep of the neighborhood proper. Really? Do they?
That fucking... Don't even get me started on the fucking HOA. Jeez, oh, Pete.
Well, I always wondered why the president of the HOA's house always get these upgrades in these high maintenance editions.
But I didn't pressure wash my fence this year, so fuck you. I get a fine. Okay.
The numbers on your mailbox are too large. They exceed the 2-inch maximum standard.
Jason, you put your Halloween decorations out September 29th, not October 1st. Yeah, you know what? They're going to stay up through December now.
We're going to have to fine you $100 per day.
And like I said, that HOAs is going to be my platform if I ever decide to go for government office. I mean, that's forget the Republicans, Democrats, whatever political party. You to be the person who stands up against HOAs.
Yeah,
you might be
elected for president.
That's right.
Here's something I don't understand about HOAs. Like, I'm guessing, Jason, you live in a neighborhood that has an HOA.
Yeah.
Like, to move into that neighborhood, did you have to agree to join the HOA, or could you just tell them to go fuck themselves?
You have to, as part of it's in the written contract when you buy the house.
Yeah. In order to buy the house, yeah.
Yeah, nowadays with all the master plan communities, I mean, they're built as part of the community, the developer, and they're actually owned by the developer from the initial get-go.
Yeah, that would be a no-go for me then. I could never move into someplace like that.
And at that point, basically what you're having to look at is either move out into the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
Or buy a house that's like 50 years old.
Yeah. And I would like to move into the middle of nowhere. I'm still, that was the plan until we had
He's
kids,
almost there.
I am almost there.
He's not in the middle of nowhere. He's on the edge of nowhere.
I am on the edge of nowhere.
But
you've made it when you're on the guest list to Jason's, exclusionary HOA neighborhood. when you go to the guard shack and you just tell them,
we do not have a guard shack.
That's right.
In order to open the gate to the gated community, Briggs at the guard shack has to check your ID.
Yeah. They don't even talk to you. It's just a camera with a big electronic,
It's how? What is that, Brian?
I'm at the very edge of – I live in Dallas-Fort Worth. Okay, so I'm at the very northern edge of Fort Worth. Now, it gets very interesting because from my house to my in-laws' house, both of us are in the city of Fort Worth, is 34 miles.
Jeez,
but those are 34 Texan miles, which are at least 1.6 miles larger than a regular mile for the rest of the United States.
That is 5 turns.
Oh.
From my driveway to their driveway. 5 turns. It's just northern to southern Fort Worth. But north of me and west of me, there's nothing. It is 30 miles to the Walmart west of me and 30 miles to the Walmart north of me.
How big a belt buckle are you wearing right now?
Well, none, but that means I would also be wearing pants. But
wait, he pods naked.
I've done podcasts with Neil, Annalise, and a few others. So you really going to ask that question?
Neil never even wears a shirt for us. It's rare when he shows up. It's you have a shirt on? No.
And the man just glistens.
He does glisten.
And considering to make things a little happier for Jason here, I am wearing a proper podcasting t-shirt because I am wearing my Hallmark.
Oh yeah, there it is.
T-shirt.
Are you in Hallmark season right now?
Oh, I've been in Hallmark season for over a month.
Okay. I know some of your questions you've asked us have been Hallmark related.
I am 16 new movies down for this season already. There's only 208 new ones.
Good God.
Sean. So,
fuck.
Are you watching?
Like, how many women are
one
moving
girl
back
from
to the
Full House
Midwest to find the love of their life? Jesus.
Well, did you see the one tweet? I forget. I don't know who wrote it, but it was hilarious. It was, I actually watched the Hallmark movies in reverse, and they actually broke up with their boyfriend, moved out of the small town, and they made a great job in New York City. Like, what?
Yeah.
This is amazing. Are you watching any Candace Cameron Bure Pave?
No, I do not watch GAC.
Okay. I don't even know if I have GAC. Sean, do you have GAC in Pittsburgh?
I'm sure we do. I just have never turned to it.
Okay.
I used to have. Well, I still actually have it because before they became the current GAC, I used to watch them in the previous iteration of GAC because they had the. It was like a Texas small home renovation crew where they would buy basically houses they could haul off property and then resell for like $30,000, $40,000. So it was like a remodeling show, but it was a much more affordable home purchase remodeling compared to we remodeled this home and now it's $500,000.
I teach goat yoga and my budget is $16 million. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I live in California. Okay.
I run a shelter for stray cats.
Called
No.
Called Kitty
Jason,
Palace.
So
Jason the Angry Ginger got rid of all of his cats, so he's no longer running the stray cat shelter. Jeannie will be able to go back to the house.
My budget is
Here's a dumb
$800,000.
question from a northern. Like here in Pittsburgh, at birth, you were just given a terrible towel. Are you like when you become of age, are you just given a 10-gallon hat, or is that something you have to like develop on your own?
See, I was basically asked the same question 2004 timeframe when and this is going to be this is a nice interesting story. When I was going to Canada to meet a girl that I had met online that we met on a game, and she was my girlfriend for about 2 years, and the border control north of Rochester was
the Canadian Mounties.
Do you own a gun? No. Are you the only Texan who doesn't own a gun? I don't know. We have more than you guys have in Canada.
Yeah.
I don't own a gun, but I'm transporting them into Canada. Is that a problem? I don't technically own them. I just have a trunk full of them. Is that all right?
Whatever you do, don't look under my cowboy hat.
I don't see the need to own them just because of the fact of where I live. I can buy more gun. There are more stores and places to buy guns and assault rifles in a 3-mile radius of my house than I have grocery stores.
We have a food
how many armadillos do you run over on a weekly basis?
Used to run when I first moved in the house. It was about 2 a week.
Oh my God, the humanity!
Well, I bought a house that backed up to cattle and buffalo.
Oh,
yes.
So literally, I all the time. But no, it's literally like that. I mean, going north of my house, there's we have a Quick Trip up here is one of our major gas stations. Like you guys have Marathon, and the Quick Trip is at a corner of a side freeway that goes between two freeways. It's literally only about 6 miles long, but it's a business bypass. And so it's there on a freeway and on a highway. You pull into the Quick Trip. There's a Quick Trip, a Specs liquor store, because down here we actually have to have separate liquor stores. Unlike, I think, Ohio, you can buy your liquor in your Walmarts and such.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania,
you have package stores. Yeah.
We have package stores, but they're liquor stores. We can buy beer and wine in grocery stores, but you have separate liquor stores here. Huh. And then there's also an assault rifle store in the same little shopping center. Wow. So you can pull in, grab a gun, rob a liquor store, rob a gas station, and pull back onto the freeway without even having to get to a stoplight.
And eat a steak.
Sean, You have liquor and that in the grocery stores too, don't you? You're like Ohio, right?
Yeah, sort of.
No, I have relatives in Pennsylvania. No, they're not like Ohio.
Really?
They have loosened the blue laws in Pennsylvania where it comes to liquor, but like you have to have a seating capacity in order to sell alcohol. Okay. So like you walk into a Giant Eagle grocery store and for no reason whatsoever, there's like a seating area, and that's just so they can sell booze.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
nobody sits there.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's nothing like the Giant Eagle I go to. They actually have like poker games or casino games in there. Nobody's sitting in there. Just like one lonely employee who's on a break, and but they have like 22 seats so they can sell booze. It's the same thing with convenience stores. If you don't have the seating capacity, you can't sell alcohol.
Huh. I went on a trip with my then college girlfriend. This is in the summer of 1992, and I think the last straw for her was we're driving back through Pennsylvania, and I looked on the road map. This is before GPS. I looked on the road map and I went Latrobe, Pennsylvania, Rolling Rock. I took an hour detour to go to Latrobe because I was going to buy Rolling Rock in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. And I remember getting out, walking through the store 3 times, walking around the store. And finally I asked somebody, hey, where's the beer in here? And they're like, we don't sell beer. This is Pennsylvania. We don't sell beer. And I'm like, needless to say, I walked out with no Rolling Rock beer. And my girlfriend broke up with me shortly after that. I don't know if it was because of the trip or because I didn't get Rolling Rock beer.
Or is it because you drank Rolling Rock? Maybe that's why she broke up with you.
Rolling Rock.
Hold on.
Rolling Rock was an import beer back in 1992. You paid import prices.
You did.
For 33.
And it still tasted
right.
like ass. Oh, God, no.
Rolling Rock was my beer of choice for many, many years. And then Budweiser bought the company. And they shut down the brewery in Latrobe.
What?
And moved it to St. Louis.
Blasphemers.
Well, now that brewery reopened, that's where they make Iron City beer.
Oh. I've had that. I don't know if I would put that on the same level of quality as Rolling Rock.
Well, neither would I. I mean,
See, mine was reversed because we have a facility in Indianapolis that I go up to work out of a couple times a year. And going into the Walmart there early Sunday morning after landing just to grab snacks and such before I went over to the plant to work for the rest of the day. And you're picking up your Lay's or your Pringles in the chip aisle, and you turn around and there's bottles of Crown just sitting on the shelf where you come from Texas and you can't even buy that in a standard grocery store. And it's like the differences state for state we have on this stuff is just too wide and varied.
Yeah,
it is. It's insane. I agree. I couldn't believe I couldn't buy beer in fucking Pennsylvania grocery store.
Yeah, you can't
especially
buy beer
in Latrobe. I mean, they should have had a special section for Rolling Rock only.
Well, I growing up in Texas where we had huge Texas blue laws. And so growing up, I've always been in the suburbs of Dallas or of Fort Worth. And so you would have to drive into basically the bad part of town to get to the liquor stores because they were only in downtown Fort Worth. They weren't into the suburb cities. And even when I bought my current house, I bought it in 2006, and we had to drive about halfway from here to downtown Fort Worth. It was about a 8-mile drive to one way just to get to the closest liquor store when we first moved in. Nowadays, I got one literally about 2 miles north of me. And since then, there's probably 10 in a 5-mile area around my house at a minimum. And so it was always weird because you could do that. And originally, even in the late mid-90s, you had beer, but you couldn't buy wine. And then you could buy wine in grocery stores. And even then, from county to county, it goes back and forth on what you can and can't buy in various grocery stores.
But you could buy guns anywhere.
Oh, that's
down the hall, Blake.
Hey, this is turning into an educational podcast.
It is.
You can buy them literally anywhere. I mean, I'm in a very, very Republican leaning area of town, I would say. I live beside a Buc-ee's, Texas Texas Motor Speedway. So NASCAR, Buc-ee's, Bass Pro Shop, and more places to buy guns than you want to even think about.
So it's funny you mentioned Buc-ee's because my number one fan, Doug, he's not on the show this week because he's traveling. And he decided to say, "Fuck Thanksgiving! I'm going with my family somewhere else. We're not seeing mom and dad this year." So they are traveling. He texted me and he's like, "I'm at a Buc-ee's right now," and I'm like, "Oh my god, how much are you spending?" So I asked him for some beef. It is
turkey. The best place. It has replaced. Okay, so going back to something Blake will remember. I'm not sure Jason will, but back in the 90s and 80s, when you were ready to go shopping for a gift, you would go to Service Merchandise or Best Products.
I know Service Merchandise. I know Service.
Buc-ee's has replaced my gift shopping place of choice.
Nothing like buying bags of buck nuts for those stocking stuffers.
Cast iron, solo stoves, chimeneras. How many different cookbooks that we can buy. I mean, they have a plethora of just stuff to shop for there in their dry goods section.
Sean, have you ever been to Buc-ee's?
I've only heard the legend.
The legend.
You know, basically
when you go to a place that has 100 restrooms that are clean enough that your great grandmother would eat off the floor, you know you're in heaven.
Yes.
And 100 gas pumps.
Oh yeah.
They got a gas pump for every toilet.
Sean, you and I are going to travel to Kentucky. Not by choice, but I guess it is by choice. And me and you are going to visit a Buc-ee's together.
I will admit I am intrigued. I mean, I do have, like, you know, hometown pride where with me it's like the Sheetz. Sheetz is the
yes.
Okay, so I have family who lives in Reading. They lived in Reading and Pottstown. So I've been through most of Pennsylvania. I've gone through a couple blizzards up there. I have a facility in New York. I have facilities in California. So I have seen Sheetz, Marathon, Quick Trips, Come and Goes, Phillips 66s.
What is a Sheetz, Sean?
I mean, it's basically a gas station.
Yeah, it's another gas.
It's a QT. It's really a QT. Okay. The other thing you're going to know is Wawa's. I mean, I have family that will swear by Wawa's, especially when it gets to the food at Wawa's.
Those scumbags at Wawa's, they're on the eastern side of the state, and they can stay the fuck there. We don't want that shit here. We are Sheetz and Sheetz proud.
You know, I like Sheetz because if you're in uniform, you get a free cup of coffee.
Yeah, they do take
and
care
a Rolling Rock.
Well, no.
Unfortunately
not.
True.
Now, Buc-ee's is nice for me because I do suffer. For the last 3 years, I've had a horrible bad case of insomnia where I do not sleep a lot of nights. Mm-hmm. So Buc-ee's is about 4 miles away from the house. And I will end up driving up there at like 2 a.m. in the morning just because I can't fall asleep and I need to wander around someplace.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'd rather wander around and see the wildlife at Buc-ee's than the wildlife at Walmart.
Well, the Walmart. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
Here's the real question: as a connoisseur of garbage food, is Whataburger really that good?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
No.
Oh yes.
I have never met a Texan that doesn't swear by Whataburger.
Really?
Okay, let's put it this way, and I want to offend a lot of East Coasters a little bit probably here.
That's okay because we're not East Coast.
You guys can keep your freaking Five Guys.
Oh.
You know, Five Guys is an overpriced burger. I will agree. Five Guys is an overpriced burger.
It's an overpriced burger. I don't need 15,000 potatoes of French fries in my bag.
Yeah.
You don't need
Carnival style French fry.
Yeah.
You don't need it, but you can have it, and that what makes it awesome.
No. Give me a Whataburger, and a lot of it has to do with what you can also do for customization out of Whataburger. All right. Yeah, I live in. I mean, I used to try. We have a facility in Arizona, so about 6 years ago, In-N-Out did come to Texas. So prior to that, I had a facility in south of Phoenix that was like the westernmost Whataburger and the easternmost In-N-Out. All right. And it's like the sole reason for this town was because these two places could meet here and duke it out like it was the Crips and the Bloods.
That's beautiful.
So what you're talking about is you had two burger universes colliding. Creating an unnatural wave in the burger universe.
It definitely was. And so you had them up there, and you go to In-N-Out and their animal style and their whole secret menu, but I go to Whataburger and say, okay, I need a double Whataburger on wheat, only ketchup, add bacon with salsa and other accessories on it. And it's no problem. It's not a secret menu. It's all on the board. You can go there and order a burger on Texas toast, and it's not a big thing. It's not some weird secret menu thing. So of the fast food burgers, it's where I would go.
Yeah. See, now since we're offending East Coast burgers, Five Guys, same thing with In-N-Out. I went out to California, and I was like, all right, first thing I'm going to do is go to In-N-Out when I need a snack or a burger. And it sucked. It really sucked. And everybody's like, well, you got to order the secret menu. I was like, well, why is this menu secret, Jason? I think Jason said, well, why is this, the menu secret? Just make it the normal part of the menu so people can order good food.
It is, yeah.
McDonald's sucked. It did. Now, the fries were okay, but the rest of the burger, I was unimpressed.
So I go up, and I'm gonna pick on Pennsylvania. I can pick on Pennsylvania. I've stopped in Ohio a few times. I've slept there a couple times, but I have not stayed there any length of time.
I wouldn't blame you.
I mean, well, the one time I stayed, it was like outskirts of Cleveland, and it was in the middle of a snowstorm.
And it was July.
Well, no. I was driving up. We were driving. It was me and my wife at the time, and we were driving from Texas to Pottstown,
Canada. Oh, yeah.
And we had stopped in Fort Wayne to visit some family, and we ended up stopping up, like I said, just outside of Cleveland before we were driving back down to be on the drive through the interstate in the middle of a blizzard all day Saturday. So it was so much fun.
Yeah.
But stayed quite a bit more in Pennsylvania. And so my thing is judging coming from Texas, where a lot of these were based, I would say, or where their bigger base of stuff is, all the way up to Montreal. Is the further north you go, the smaller of a menu Dairy Queen has.
There's a Dairy Queen that's literally like 2 miles from my house, and it is the biggest damn menu I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm in Southwest Ohio.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You're in Southwest Ohio, so you'll go into a Dairy Queen, and you will have hamburgers. You will have chicken strips.
Yep.
You'll probably even have shrimp at your Dairy Queen.
We do not have shrimp, but we have pretzels.
They had shrimp. They used to have shrimp.
Oh.
They used to have shrimp. Okay. I'm in Texas, and we have hamburgers, tacos, corn dogs, steak fingers, chicken strips. You get up into parts of Pennsylvania, they probably don't even have most of the food menu, but they'll have all the dairy. You get up to even, like I say, in Montreal, it is just dairy, and just in the summer.
Well, the only real reason to go to Dairy Queen is for the blizzards.
Yes,
and that's it. And if I had no self-control, I'd probably be 15 to 20 pounds heavier because the blizzards are awesome.
Even if you get the small blizzards, they're like 600 calories. Like they're just
that's all I can do.
Sean, the Dairy Queen in Pennsylvania, do they come with fries in the ice cream?
Yeah, fries are on the ice cream with a side of slaw.
Is that correct, Sean?
Shockingly, no, we don't put fries in the ice cream.
Oh, okay.
It does go on salads, but not on ice cream.
Okay.
Now, if we're going to pick on food restaurants, I do have to pick on, and I actually had to send a post over to Couple Things podcast because of this. But I had to pick on. We finally had a recent Hallmark movie that premiered this year, based out of Dayton, Ohio, with the horrible abomination that you guys call chili.
Stop it.
Skyline, yeah, chili.
Stop it.
Cincinnati chili.
Pictured,
Stay on target.
They did not say Skyline, but it was chili on pasta, which is only a Cincinnati thing. And I want to just assume it was Skyline, even though I don't want to.
That's right. No bean chili on spaghetti. Correct.
It's a chili sauce. It's not a chili.
That's right.
It is a chili with chocolate. Okay, Sean.
Hey, I know that we're legit because you can go to DC and I've ate in the chili restaurant where they've got like Texas chili, they've had like St. Louis chili, and they even had on the menu Cincinnati chili. So
and because you guys do basically are the headquarters for the largest grocery chain in the world.
That's right, baby.
Kroger.
Yes.
And so I do end up with stuff like Skyline chili is in my grocery store. I don't think I've ever seen a can or block of it being sold.
Hey.
Not in Texas. Hell no. There's no beans in that chili.
Then again, to make our Pennsylvania proud, they actually have had scrapple in that store as well.
Oh, God.
I had to explain to people what that stuff was.
That's those jagoffs on the east side. Yeah. That's east side.
Okay, time out.
Shit here.
Time out. I'm intrigued by this. Sean, help me out here. So Cincinnati has a west side and an east side, and they hate each other. The east side is the rich folk. The west side is like, good old-fashioned German Catholic.
This is the same as Dallas versus Houston.
Okay.
It's Pennsylvania versus
There
Philly.
you go.
What about Pennsylvania? What's the east side, Sean?
That's Philly.
Well, okay, asshole. I get
Harrisburg is the split.
Harrisburg is the middle.
Okay.
And the east side of PA, it's like Philly and Johnstown and Scranton.
But why do you hate them?
They were the city folk originally.
Well, the problem is this. Like, the thing you have to understand about Pittsburgh is, like, we feel like we are on our own. Mm-hmm. Pittsburgh is its own place all by itself.
No, that's not true because you do have West Virginia.
Well,
we're not going to get into West Virginia.
It's really because Pittsburgh is the only part of Pennsylvania that's part of the Rust Belt.
Philadelphia is part of that like metroplex of DC, Philly, New York, Boston. Mm-hmm. It's like that whole thing where like, and they feel like they're superior to us because they've got like that fucking bell and the Constitution was signed there and all that shit. But
these stupid colonials.
They're just a bunch of Johns working the docks. Meanwhile, over here in Pittsburgh, we built the damn country. Pittsburgh steel
mills, baby. That's right.
That's right.
Do you feel like Philadelphia feels like they're superior to you, like the Bengals felt like they were superior to the Steelers this weekend?
Okay, let me address two separate issues here.
Yeah, how's that West Virginia quarterback working out for you?
Actually, he was a Pitt quarterback.
Same thing.
And I'm going to get to Pitt in a second, and no, it's not the same thing. Those fucking Mountaineers down there in West Virginia. Don't even get.
What do you mean down there? That's in your southern. That's your southern neighborhood.
That is not a part of Pennsylvania. That's not a part of Pittsburgh.
Yes, it is. Come on.
No. I've driven through West Virginia a few times.
That's true. That's true. West Virginia is wild and wonderful. It's nothing like Western Pennsylvania.
What we should do
to address the Bengal issue that Jason has brought.
Here we go.
I have no ground to stand on, so I'm going to shut up right now.
I want to hear this response, Sean. Go ahead.
I'm going to tell you, Jason, the exact same thing I told your bandwagon riding brother, Kevin.
Wow.
Ooh.
The Steelers will be back and competing for championships in no time. History has taught us that it'll be another 30 years before the Bengals can get back to a Super Bowl and lose.
But here's the thing, Sean. With the Bengals only hitting it every 30 years, I don't get disappointed ever again. It's another 30 years until I'm disappointed in them.
I don't even know what I'm missing.
Yeah. So this is rougher for you, Sean, because the Steelers are struggling this year. You're so used to championships. The Bengals are 6-4. This is like cake right now for us. We're like, what? We have a winning record?
Now, I understand that. And yes, it hurts as a Steeler fan to be losing, especially to a team that looked as hideous as the Bengals did on Sunday. Like, what the fuck were up with those uniforms? But anyway, I digress.
Hey, I like the white Bengal uniforms. I'm not even a Bengals fan.
My wife was hoping that it would snow so we couldn't see them. It'd be like camo.
But I'm willing to take the pain of like a losing season or two to be back to greatness. Unlike the Bengals, who will ride out mediocrity for 30 years.
Man. Sean, it's okay, man. Do you need a hug?
You did have the Cliff Stout era, okay? So I know it's a long time ago, but Now
what we
and it took an Ohio
80s.
quarterback there for you to help you ride that 18-year wave.
Now, Blake, what you should do is have Sean and Jason make a bet here.
Uh-oh.
Okay, and depending on who wins, they have to treat the other to a trip to Shady Maple.
Yeah.
What's Shady Maple?
Shady Maple is a landmark in eastern Pennsylvania.
Okay.
In Lancaster County.
Oh, is it Amish?
It is Amish.
Okay.
It is, let me say, so if the Tabernacle in Salt Lake City is the Mecca of being Mormon,
yes,
Shady Maple is the Mecca of Golden Corrals for smorgasbords in Lancaster County.
Sean, I think we should go there and just start taking pictures of the Amish and sucking their soul out. Let's do it.
Man, I continue to learn things on this podcast today. This is so educational.
Okay, so here's the best part.
The thing that amazes me.
Yeah.
Let me bop this in because I am a Pitt fan. And
here we go.
So
I was about to say I was very impressed by talking to smart people, but you just said you were a Pitt fan.
Yeah, I know. It's the price I pay for the greatness of the Penguins and the Steelers. But anyway. So I want
anything named after the armpit.
Fan,
go ahead.
Stop it, Blake. Stop it.
Being a Pitt
I'm sorry.
fan,
I shall stop. Interrupt.
I have to watch Pitt games on the ACC network, and with the ACC network, I get commercials for Bojangles, which we do not have here.
No, that is South Carolina. I have friends who swear by Bojangles.
I've ate at Bojangles.
They have a commercial right now where they are advertising a pork chop sandwich on a buttermilk biscuit that looks absolutely fucking amazing.
Their biscuits are amazing. I will say that.
And it's like this ultimate tease of like, because the majority of the conference is in the South, I have to watch Southern commercials for like that and Food Lion. And I'm just like, oh, I need a Bojangles near me right now.
Sean, if you and I were not like, I don't know, hermits, we could be going on some major car trips here to go places.
My hermit lifestyle prevents me from finding out these fine dining, like this Shady Maple. This sounds amazing. Like I need to go there, but I refuse to leave Allegheny County.
I refuse to leave my house.
This might be a little small for you, but this is the actual Shady Maple.
Oh wow!
Oh, good.
Like I said,
almighty.
it's the Tabernacle.
Holy crap!
Of Golden Corrals.
That's like a conference hall.
Jeez, Pete.
Oh my!
The problem is I don't do buffets. I can't.
That's why I think it would be a great bet for you, Jason. Because you would have to deal with something like that.
Oh, it's like germs everywhere. Because there's like one snotty 3-year-old sneezing on everything, and then somebody lost a shoe or a hairnet in one of those things. And that's not the employees. That's the customers.
Think of it. If you've been to to me, the way I explain it is, if a Golden Corral or a standard cafeteria is a standard gas station, and you've been to a Buc-ee's, this is the Buc-ee's equivalent of that type of restaurant.
I can see that.
It is.
I can see that.
You know, Blake, I like that we're an hour and 20 minutes into this, and we have not hit anything on our outline.
Yeah, I pretty much said screw it to the outline at this point in time.
This is how I do my best work. I wing it.
I agree. I've enjoyed this. I'm just saying that I'm going to have to go back into my my description of the episode that I wrote on our website, and I'm going to have to change it all.
You're going to have to delete. No, you know what? Just leave it, Jason.
Just leave it.
Just leave it.
So
just leave it and see what happens.
I will say
this week's game is, compared to our outline, what points did we actually make on the podcast?
None.
And they have to listen to the whole podcast to understand we haven't made any.
So here's the best part. So this past week, I get an email, and it's from a history podcast, like a real history podcast.
Oh, yeah, you shared that with us.
Yes. I shared it with the team here. So this is the best part. They're like, hey, and this is like a pretty big history podcast, like just from looking at what their YouTube subscribers, all that stuff, whatever. So I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? So they asked us, hey, it seems like we have a lot of cross-platform audience with your history podcast and my history podcast. With you guys doing the bad history of it and that. Would you guys like to do commercials and do advertisement and cross promote? And he goes on. It's like what, Blake? 4 paragraphs of this thing?
Yeah. He had a lot of facts and stuff in there.
And the whole time,
what makes it funny is he never listened to the show.
Exactly.
We should follow through.
Let's do it.
Let's send him in. Let's send him one. Come on, let's
do the entire thing with like fancy voices, like "Hello, my name is Jason, and I'm Blake." Like shit like that. Like just completely like do a fuck off.
Do you remember Andrew Jackson? What he's famous for? Well, we'll tell you about his bad ideas.
This week on History of Bad Ideas, President Jackson's opening up the White House for celebration on his inauguration resulted in $10,000 worth of damages.
And we're not just talking American history. We do French history too. See?
Oui.
Oui.
So also on that day, there were 1,200 baguettes broken and injured in the White House cafeteria from Chef Lemont.
I like this. We're going to do the commercial.
Just play Leo McGarrity's big block of cheese speech.
And then you need to start saying, well, here's our average demographic. I mean, one of our larger fans, he listens to us. He listens to other pop culture podcasts. He listens to couples podcasts like DAPF or How Was Your Week, Honey? I listen to, like I say, Jason Parsons' podcast with that. I've listened to Hino. And then I listen to about 6 different Hallmarky podcasts on a weekly basis.
You know what? I'm not even going to respond with a paragraph to this guy. I'm just going to send him like, this sounds great. Here's our promo. Let's do it. Blake, we're doing it next week when everyone's back.
No, yeah, we could do that. Or as you said, we get somebody who's not even affiliated with our podcast to do a read for us.
I like it.
No, let them know that what you've done is you've gotten Hello Jeff to sponsor his podcast.
Hello Jeff.
And put a promo on there.
You sent him a sponsorship, fake sponsorship form and contract.
Like, I have no issue cross-promoting. Like, we do that, with everybody. Like, we have no problem. But it's just funny. It makes me laugh because this is not the first time that we get these emails. And they're from real people. And they're like, hey, you have a history podcast. So do we. You want to promote? Have you guys listened? No? That's fine. Let's just do it. Like, it's kind of like back in the early days when we would do titles. Anytime we put something religious in our title, our numbers were quadruple what they usually are. And it's like, I like you, I'll kill you last, Punches Pilot. Like, that one went through the roof, and it was I think Easter weekend. And so that didn't help either. But It's like I want to know like when they tune in like when they're like, I don't think this is a history podcast. These assholes.
Well, you should just take news from headlines. I mean, you should do like this week should be like Chris Lee's investment tips.
Oh, I like it. You know that fucking guy. Jeez, old Pete. He got 12 years today. They gave him 12 years. His wife 7. I still don't know what he's famous for, except for running commercials after Monday Night Raw when I watch. Sean, do you know what he's famous for?
No,
some kind of reality show, isn't it?
Well, yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
yeah. He had a reality show that I don't understand. I never saw, didn't want to see, but
I don't even know why he got a reality show.
That's my question. Is like, okay, you said you were famous for having a reality show to me, but what were you famous for that got you the reality show?
I don't know.
I mean, Kardashians with sex tapes. That makes sense.
Allegedly.
You know,
it's not.
No, I watched it.
No, that's what kept them famous.
Okay.
It's true.
Having OJ gloves that did not fit started them being famous.
Getting OJ off helped, and then the sex tapes just made them the next level. I was shocked. What's that?
You said getting OJ off. More than one way.
I was trying so hard to be an adult, Blake. I really was.
I had to go there. Sorry.
I will say this.
I mean, you have to go back and remember, she's famous because she was originally Paris's personal assistant.
She was a closet decorator, wasn't she?
No.
Yeah.
Well, the mom was. I'm talking Kim.
Oh.
Her initial job was she was the personal assistant to Paris Hilton.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. That's
and then Paris had her tape, and then Kim had to have her tape.
Yeah.
I've heard, allegedly, that Paris looks really bored in her tape. Like, really bored.
Yeah, she did. She did.
Allegedly.
It obviously wasn't produced by her mother.
No.
Are you saying Kim's was? No. I mean, we could do...
No, what do you mean? Allegedly. It's true. According to Ray J.
Oh, Ray J. I wonder if he ever got money off that tape. Or was it just Kim?
Now, supposedly, Khloe Kardashian is O.J. Simpson's illegitimate daughter. So
that's the rumor, yeah.
Yeah, that's why she's spending all that plastic surgery money to
not look like it.
Not look like it.
I will say, so we can do one thing though. We can do the top 5. Blake, did you do a top 5 this week?
I actually did take 60 seconds to make one.
Okay. Does anyone else have a top 5? I know.
I think
together. Yes.
Okay.
I did one. I'll find it off the site.
I'll tell you with all the food discussions that we had.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think our 2 roulette pod guests are going to have any problems. It's the top 5 favorite holiday foods.
Now, holiday foods, I was thinking like Christmas, Thanksgiving, this time of the year. But,
yes.
It could be any time. I guess you could make holiday anytime because I kind of did that because I don't have a lot of Christmas and holiday foods at this time of the year that I really like. So I was like, shit. Yeah. So, Sean, I'll let you go first. You go ahead. What's your note? Since you live in Pennsylvania, I feel bad. What's your number 5?
No, it's very Pennsylvania. It's kielbasa.
What is that?
Kielbasa. Sausage.
Oh, kielbasa. Okay, sorry. That's what I thought.
I'm sorry. I spoke in Pittsburghese. Excuse me.
My bad.
Pittsburghian.
But my mother makes she takes the kielbasa and then it's in a barbecue sauce and there's a whole thing to it. I'm not quite sure what all is involved with it, but that shit is fucking delicious.
Eastern European.
Brian, what's your number 5?
Number 5 for me was it's a Southern staple for me around Christmas, but it was pigs in a blanket made from Little Smokies and crescent roll.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That'll work.
I mean, just sit down with a plate full of those, watching a game.
That is a Halloween specialty in my home.
With mustard.
Like mummies.
You putting mustard on those? What are you putting on them?
Not me, no.
Plain?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I have to go mustard too, Blake. I'm with you.
Yeah. Okay. Honey mustard.
Oh, yeah. My number 5 is Halloween candy. And the reason why I say that is because I don't like candy. Like, I'm not a big candy fan. But, man, you get to the end of October and, like, the first 2 weeks of November, I'm like, what do you guys got? I look at my kids like, what do you have in there? Starburst? Give me those. It's like, but most of the year, like, I'm not a big chocolate fan. But, like, October and November, first couple weeks of November, give me the Hershey chocolate, any of that stuff. So I'm going Halloween candy. Blake, what you got?
Turkey, stuffing, and gravy.
That's like 3 things.
That's a Hobie if I've ever heard it.
That's right. It's my Hobie list, man. I'm Hobieing
it's one item.
Turkey.
Correct. It is.
You don't make one without making all 3.
Correct. And you have to have gravy over everything.
It's a party foul if you do.
I can let it go because there is something here called the Gobbler. It's at the Get Go gas stations where it's like stuffing bread with turkey and cranberry and like all the fixins all on one sandwich.
Sounds
and
good.
It's very popular.
Yeah.
Do they
It's
sell
called the
that in like
Gobbler.
July or just like this time of the year?
It's just this time of the year, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Blake, what's your number 4?
Yeah, it is this time of year. Although in the Midwest, you can eat turkey at least once a month, and nobody thinks twice about it. Yeah, I had a roommate in college from Long Island, and he was your typical Long Island, New York Italian, and he never got over the fact that we ate fucking turkey every week. It was on the school cafeteria menu. We have fucking turkey. We have fucking turkey every fucking week. It's fucking Thanksgiving, and I'm like, yeah, Jamie, it's Ohio. Okay, number 4, any pie with Cool Whip on top.
Oh, Cool Whip?
That's right. A big scoop of Cool Whip on top.
Okay.
That Thanksgiving dinner in a can is just vile.
Ooh, yeah, I've seen that before.
We talked about that last year. Yeah, it's all the dinner in a can.
It's layered.
Oh, God.
It's all there. I don't know if that's the way I'd want to eat it, though.
My number.
I'm with you, Blake. Your little whipped cream on my pumpkin pie. That's the shit right there.
That's right.
A little pumpkin pie on my whipped cream.
That's right.
My number 4 is I've Hobied this one. Good homemade mashed potatoes, like pure, like from the you're shucking the potatoes and dressing.
You shuck potatoes?
Well, you peel potatoes, not shuck. I don't know how you do it, Blake.
You know what? I want some of your mashed potatoes. I want to see what shucked potatoes taste like.
Yes. So they're good
Nothing
anytime.
like peeling those husks off them potatoes. Are you sure you're eating mashed potatoes?
No,
Jason?
it might be corn. I don't know. Shut up, Blake. Brian, number 4.
Number 4 for me is I'm the anti-turkey person. I do not like turkey, so give me a nice Thanksgiving Day ham.
Okay.
There you go. Honey baked ham.
Yeah.
That would make my honorable mention.
That was my number 2.
Oh, put it on the board.
There you go.
Put it on the board.
Sean, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is twice baked potatoes.
Oh. You don't get them any other time of year?
No, my mother makes them for the holidays. That's it.
Huh.
But and she like takes the potato, bakes it, scoops that stuff out, mashes it, puts it back in the oven so you get a nice little crispy
crust.
Like crust on top of that bad boy. Oh, it's delicious. I eat that whole, like, skin it all. Eat the whole thing.
The local butcher shop down the street from us makes those like handmade, and they're to die for. They have them all year long, and it's like we have them in the summertime. Like, they're amazing. You have that and steak outside. Oh my God!
Do they hand shuck those for you?
Yes, they. Shut up. Sean, what's your number 3?
That's what my mom does. She has to shuck the potato out.
What's your number 3, Sean?
My number 3, staying with the potato family, is sweet potatoes.
Oh God!
I like that. With cinnamon.
Yeah.
Maple
Like
butter?
and cinnamon. Yeah. That's good stuff right there, my friend.
Oh,
That's right.
Brian, number 3.
Number 3 for me is Lebkuchen, which is a German spice cookie made with honey. I remember growing up eating them because they have like a glaze on them, and my mom would have to then like cut up apples to put in the tin with the cookies to keep them soft.
Ooh. Good stuff.
Intrigued. Blake, number 3.
My number 3,
Oh, wait,
I
that's
had
me,
green
right, fuck you, Brett.
green
Blake,
bean
it's me.
casserole. I'll go anyways. Green
Okay,
bean
go.
casserole.
What is it?
Green bean casserole.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. I love green bean casserole. But here's the ironic part. I hate mushrooms.
Oh, okay.
I can't eat mushrooms straight, but you know, for that good green bean casserole, you need a cream of mushroom. Campbell's
I'm the
cream
same
of mushroom
way
to
with
make
like
that.
with tuna noodle casserole. I can't stand mushrooms, but
Yeah.
I let them slide in tuna noodle casserole.
Tuna casserole is good.
So mushrooms are better in casseroles.
That's the way
It
we
seems that way.
It seems that way. I think we've learned something new again.
That's what you need
It's
to make a hot
scientific
dish.
fact.
My number 3 is something my wife makes every Christmas: Oreo balls. And like you mash up a whole package of Oreos. Shut it. Stay on target.
Can I go there? Can I
Take
go
it.
there?
Stay on target. She mashes my balls and then she rolls them.
Hand shucks your balls.
That's right. Fuck it. Go online, look for their
sorry,
Oreo balls
did it.
recipe. Fuck you all. My number 2. Number 2.
It sounds like a cake pop, but with Oreos. I've had those before.
They have like a.
No, go ahead. What are Oreo balls? I have to ask.
Damn it. This is
And
going
how
to
come
sound bad.
How come you never saved any for us when we come over to do the holiday podcast?
You know what? The floppy awards, we will have some for you.
There you go.
You know why? Because the issue is that you have to get like that good chocolate and you have to melt it, and it's like 8 bars of it. And so
Wow, okay.
It's expensive as hell. So you have the chocolate bars, you melt those, you mash up the Oreo balls, you have cream cheese, and you basically roll it all together. And it's amazing.
Sounds good.
It is.
Yeah, and then
Hey, you know what? I'm going to put that on my honorable mention list.
Okay. And my number 2 is Buckeyes. I love me some good Buckeyes.
Love Buckeyes. That's right.
Peanut butter and chocolate. What more can you want?
Yeah. You can't go wrong.
Yeah. Number 2 for you, Blake.
Number 2, deviled eggs.
That's my number 1.
Oh yeah.
Put it on
Well,
board.
you know, deviled eggs are good then, man.
They are. They're amazing.
I love some good deviled eggs. I will pop those in my mouth.
Yes.
All day if they're available.
Yeah. I agree.
And it's a year-long delicacy. Like we have them for Christmas Eve, but it's like, you go to a good 4th of July picnic, there's always some deviled eggs.
Any special
Easter,
occasion
always some
should have deviled eggs. You're right.
Exactly. It's a year-round festive food.
I like them
Yeah.
better at the holidays, like Christmas and that, because they're not sitting out in the 4th of July sun for 6 hours. Like, should I try
That's
that?
That's a valid point. I'm
That's
not
why you
gonna
got to
deny
eat them
that,
fast, Jason.
That's true. But then you see,
I'm
like,
willing to make that sacrifice
yep.
on a hot summer day for a deviled egg. Like
Yeah.
I won't even question it. I'll go right in because the price later is worth the enjoyment now.
I got you. Brian, what's your number 2?
Number 2 for me is a good coconut cream pie with a meringue topping. Don't give me no Cool Whip. Give me meringue.
Oh, that's a good one, too. I like that. It's a good call. Sean, number 2 was what for you?
Oh, it was ham, but I'll go ahead and change it up. I'll throw a little something in here. I don't know what they're called, but I think it's a candy made by Brock's. It's like minty and has a little Christmas tree on it. It's like white and red with a little Christmas tree on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like a mint?
Like I don't know what they're called. I wish I did, but like they only come out around Christmas because they got the Christmas tree on them. And like I said, it's like a mint and it's like a chewy candy. But like I used to get them in my stocking from my grandmother when I was a kid, and that bag would last like 2 days.
No offense, that kind of sounds like a grandmother treat candy.
It
does. It does.
It was, but it was delicious.
What's your number 1, Sean?
My number 1 is going to be my mom's potato salad.
Okay.
And I'm going to specify my mom's because, like most potato salads, you have chunks of potato in it.
Mm-hmm.
My family's potato salad, it's diced potato, so it's diced very fine.
Huh.
So it's
shucked
much
potatoes?
smaller. Kind of, yes. But it diced down. Like my mother runs it through like a food processor to get it diced down to a proper size. And I'll take that over like those chunk potato salads any day of the week.
My mom just put like a big one potato full in a potato salad. That was it. We had to like grind it up ourselves. We didn't have the dice. We're not fancy like you Pennsylvanians.
You had to slice the whole potato yourself.
That's right.
Well, the funny thing though is like if I show people like, hey, you want some potato salad, which I really don't share. But like, hey, would you like to try some of my mom's potato salad? They look at it like, what the fuck is this? Like, and trust me, it's delicious. And they have a couple of bites. Like, my God, this is amazing because it's not the big chunks. It's just it's diced down so fine. It's
not
almost a mash.
Creamy, smooth.
It's not your mother's potato salad, but it is. Oh, trademark that. We can sell this in the Kroger's.
We could.
I like it. Brian, what's your number one?
Number one, I'm going to change what I had originally from the Facebook list because it's too similar to the Lebkuchen. But something that I remember from growing up that we don't see in the malls anymore, but I miss the big Hillshire Farms. Or not Hillshire Farms. Was it Hillshire Farms? The big Hillshire Farms meat and cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Package displays with
my number one are charcuterie trays.
Yep. I agree, Brian. They did have Hillshire.
It was just it was a thing of the holidays. You just saw it around the holidays, and
yeah,
there'd be like a stand in the middle of the mall just selling like wrapped up meat sticks and cheese.
Yeah, you need a last minute gift. I mean, just buy one of those boxes.
Well, it was someplace I could always find because my dad grew up in northern Indiana, and so down here in the South we can't. I finally was able to find in the last decade or so ring bologna for him. You could not find ring bologna down here. Every time I go up north, I would actually buy several pounds and bring it home in the coolers with me.
Wow.
Oh, geez.
That's a sin. You should be able to get bologna everywhere. Like I understand chipped ham, that's a Pittsburgh thing, but bologna seems like it would be universal.
Well, you could get bologna down here, but you could not find ring bologna where it's sold in the rings that's about the size of your Eckrich sausage or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So I would buy that and bring it down here, but I could always find it at Christmas time at like the Hillshire Farm stands.
Number one for you, Blake?
Those charcuterie trays.
Oh, that's right. Okay. And my number one was
I was almost going to mail this in just so you had to read it.
Is that a meat and cheese tray? or is that the veggie tray?
It's the Lunchables for Adults tray.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
And you could throw in some ricotta and some honey, all that kind of fun stuff too.
Okay. And
so it's like good those fine like really thinly sliced like Italian meats. That's what you're talking about.
Yes. Yes,
okay.
That's exactly it. And some expensive cheeses that melt in your mouth. It's all good stuff.
Yeah, you can go buy. You just go buy the Boar's Head selection at Kroger.
Yes.
No, it's not the same.
It is. And some shucked potatoes.
You throw that on a Triscuit, man. That's heaven.
We did have a couple. Nisi, Indiana's favorite nurse. She had mincemeat pie, sweet potatoes, stuffing, cranberry sauce, and turkey. Brad at the cinema, guys. He had deviled eggs. That was it. I guess he really likes them.
There you go.
Mark H. had broccoli cheese casserole. That sounds amazing. Cheese potatoes. Mac and cheese.
Ooh, those are delicious. When done, if you got somebody doing that shit right, that's delicious.
Mac and
with
cheese.
Some bacon on.
Come on, mac and cheese. That's every day. We have that here.
Well, hold on.
No.
There are some people that go super mac and cheese dish deluxe. I mean, they'll put some good stuff in there that makes it.
There's layers.
Yeah.
My wife makes a really good homemade family recipe mac and cheese.
Yeah, I'm not talking like Kraft box crap. We're talking about some good shit.
I only see Kraft around the holidays. Damn it. Cheesecake. Oh, yeah. And turkey.
Yep.
Turkey.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I think we have one more. Oh, yeah, we got Steve at Everything I Learned from Movies. Funeral potatoes. Basically, cheesy potato casserole for all the gatherings. It's kind of a depressing
Okay,
name.
I'm there.
Thanksgiving stuffing. Deviled eggs at Easter. Heart-shaped pizza at Valentine's Day. And chicken fried steak and beer for his birthday. I guess that is a holiday. Chicken fried steak and beer. I like that. Okay. Well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Skype Roulette, I feel like, has done well today. I don't know. At least I think so. Blake, what do you think?
Yeah, no stork. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck him.
I mean, he just flat out said no. Like, do not pass go. Do not collect $200. I was shocked.
I'll be honest. I think Brian and Sean did so well. They might be promoted above the intern. I think you guys might have done it. I think so. I think intern's going to start reporting to you guys. So congrats, guys.
Well, I appreciate that. I always enjoy bossing somebody around who's a minion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you can report to me because you can't have Brian's reporting to Brian's.
Oh, that's right. Damn it. It's the double effect. Yeah, damn it.
Yeah. It's
the Jean-Claude role like in Time Cop. You can't have
anything. He just needs to report to Jeannie.
Oh, I like that.
She likes having minions to boss around.
She does. Brian, where can we find you at on Twitter?
You can find me everywhere as Bowerfett.
We didn't even get a chance to talk Star Wars, Brian.
That's fine. Like I said, I've been Bowerfett online since '87. So,
all right. I'm going to ask you this once, Brian. Andor, thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs up. I'll stay up tonight to watch it.
Fuck yeah, baby.
We're going.
That's thumbs way up.
Yeah.
That there's some social media sites that are just taking some of the awesome character dialogues and just posting the dialogues and putting them in posts, from the episodes. And I'll tell you what, whoever wrote the dialogue for these characters and the interactions did a really good job and knows how to write really well as compared to, the Rings of Power. I like my bad news like my meat. Give it to me raw.
I watched the Rings of Power. It was fine. I feel like it's a little bad that I feel like I'm going to have to suffer through at least 3 more years of it. Because, I think with the Rings of Power, what happens is, this year we had the 3 rings for elves. So we're going to end up with the 5 rings for dwarves, the 9 rings for men, and then the 1 ring. I think it's going to be 1 set of rings per season.
And they're out of order already.
I feel like I'm the only person who liked that show.
I liked it. I had no problem with it. It just I probably liked it a little bit better than I liked the
Wheel of Time.
No, Wheel of Time I didn't have too much problem with. Then the Dragon, House of Dragon.
Oh,
it was House of Dragon was a little too rapey for me.
I appreciate you guys going over this because I have this in the summary, so I don't have to change this part.
I like, here, you can marry this girl, but don't worry, girl, you don't have to sleep with them for 2 more years until you're 14.
What?
Yeah.
This was a dialogue in the movie or in the
show. That's true. I would agree.
I felt bad for Sean because Sean's like, I liked it. It's like, Sean, I'm with you, buddy. I've never seen it, but I'm with you.
That's okay. I'm really excited for the finale for Andor tomorrow. So.
Oh shit! Is it tomorrow?
Tonight.
Damn it!
Oh, it's tonight. Oh god.
Well, after midnight. Yeah.
After midnight. Yeah.
After midnight.
But I'm really excited.
This week, so. Yeah.
Damn it! I got 1 more day to work. I can't do it. I think I'm 2 episodes behind. Then I'm 1 episode behind. Damn it! Okay. I gotta watch it. I gotta tell
this last one you'll like. some parts of Andor get very dialogue-y, but I grew up with the original trilogy. I really re-fell in love with Star Wars. I still liked it, but I re-fell in love with it during the Legends area of the 90s when we had all the books.
Yeah.
And so being that I fell in love with the books from Timothy Zahn and Michael Stackpole, and then also getting the role-playing material, source books for getting the backstory on it. That's what made the series like Andor or Mandalorian or even Book of Boba and Obi-Wan so nice to me, because the book was 15 minutes of action and 2.5 hours of backstory filling out and fleshing out the characters.
Actual story instead of action. And then I think that's kind of why I like Andor a lot more too, is that, it's a little more cerebral. I would almost call it almost kind of like adulty Star Wars. And, and I think it goes to prove if you got a good story and you stick to not fucking with canon, you're not going to piss people off. And you just do a good story and good dialogue. It's good quality stuff.
Well, it's great stuff. I mean, West End Games did so much creating of this universe that they do not get proper credit from reading and just publishing the notes and then creating the backstories for all these characters before we even had the first Timothy Zahn novel out in 91. Back when they were
just a great game system too.
Yeah, they were fleshing them out with the galaxy guides and everything. And to this day, so much what we read and take for granted of Star Wars was that. I mean, most people don't even realize if you read the original novelization of Star Wars, A New Hope, it had a 2.5-page prologue in there. That was the entire original trilogy was fleshed out in the first 2.5 pages of the original book novelization. So we had.
Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
No, so we had all this stuff, and it's just great seeing other people get to flesh it out, and even nowadays expand on it. The bad downside with Legends is they were always stuck to the era after Return of the Jedi, and so they kept writing themselves into a further and further corner almost.
My oldest is 12, and I was really like. He loves Star Wars. He loves, a lot of that stuff. And I was a little worried because I knew this was going to be more serious, like more talking and that. And he's really loved this series, and that's made me happy. Like that's made me fall in love with Star Wars a lot more, seeing him watch these and that. And he even loved Moon Knight. Like he loved Moon Knight. And I was like, wow, okay. So I'm like, okay, so you like the little bit odder one, so I'm fine with that. And I think that was the thing that I like the Moon Knight anyways, but to see him enjoy it was a lot of fun. Even though Moon Knight was a little odd. And seeing Andor, I've really enjoyed it. It's nice to see him do it too. So it's not just all action.
Yeah. Oh, I love the Luthen conversations. He's had, the conversation he has with Saul when he's based. Oh, shit, I don't know where you're at, Jason. I don't want to.
I got you.
Give it away. Have you seen that one yet?
Yes.
When he goes back to Saul. Yeah. When he's talking about basically, or what are we going to do here? I'm going to give you this option. I don't want to spoil anything for people, but Luthen's dialogues with his undercover agent. And with Saul, I think are some of the the best back and forths that are out there, including Mon Mothma's conversation with her childhood friend at the embassy dinner.
Yep.
Where she's laying out her plan to secretly fund the rebellion, and he's listening like, what the fuck? And she's like, smile.
Oh, my thing is it Vel who's Mothma's cousin?
Yeah.
Okay, Vel, and just all the different outfits and all the different roles she's playing within this thing. I mean,
yeah, kind of like
I have to know that at one point she's going to unfortunately meet her end, and she's going to be what tips Mon Mothma into going full Rambo on for the rebellion and actually going to war. That's the only way I can think it going down is with her death, but. the number of strings that she's pulling on the back end of all this stuff has just been phenomenal.
Do you think?
The thing I've been saying about this show, I used to say it for years about The Walking Dead till I couldn't take it anymore, was The Walking Dead was a character drama in a zombie apocalypse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It wasn't a zombie show.
Correct.
This is a character-driven drama in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
It's not a Star Wars show.
No. It's the beginning of a rebellion. It's the forming of a rebellion. It's not spaceships going boom. I mean, the last episode was the biggest point of fan service I think we'll get with the Fondor.
Until Andor dies tonight.
It's just that thing of like, as Star Wars fans, we're trained like you should have a ship blow up every X amount of minutes, or there should be a blaster fight or something every X amount of minutes.
Or what new thing? What new thing with the Force are you going to see now?
Right. This is very much a character-driven drama about the beginnings of the rebellion, and I think it's being brilliantly done.
Oh yeah, it shows you that. I mean, even the rebellion was not it played. I mean, just like the American Rebellion. Okay. The Luthen is basically like Samuel Adams was. He's going to create the rebellion, and he's going to be as dirty about it as he needs to be.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the things that were hinted about in Rogue One that we're seeing. Well, this is what actually happened. This is why at the end Andor changes his ways, or however you want to view that. But his hands were dirty and bloody. And his hands were dirty from. I mean, the fact that they're breaking someone out of an Imperial jail at the very beginning of Rogue One to get information just shows them they'll go to any means necessary. And really, that's what it was. It's by any means necessary, right?
Because they know they have to wake up the populace to
do it,
to do this.
Okay,
yeah.
Which means they actually, in some ways, they're trying to steer the Empire to do things against the populace that I won't say they would not have done, but they probably would have done more private if they could.
Yeah, which Luthen is like, that is exactly what we want them to do. People have to hurt in order to wake up.
Yeah, he was all for them arresting the people just for no reason. Like in episode 6, I think that was 7. Like when they
I'm just a tourist.
Yeah.
No, we're going to have to sacrifice this team. Why? Because you're more important.
Yeah.
Luthen's fairly ruthless in this thing.
Look at that. We did talk Star Wars.
Yeah. So it's awesome. I'm glad you guys have similar views.
That's because you have the right Brian on the.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. But it's good and refreshing. I love it when I can, talk to somebody that, because, some of the people I know still haven't watched it yet, and they're like Star Wars out. And I'm like, no. You got to watch this show.
No. When I've got probably close to 100 novels in my house.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get Star Wars out.
Yeah.
Heck, I own a domain name for 100 years.
Yeah. There you go.
I bought a 99-year lease on it back in like 91. So I got it for a while.
Yeah. And like I said before, when Jason first mentioned the news, I made fun of it because I'm like, Andor, he's going to live. But I started watching it anyways. And the first episode, I was like, this is something different. And I kind of like it.
Was it the
and
Star
then I
Wars?
got
Was it the Star Wars?
By the third episode, I was completely sucked in. And I was like, this is awesome.
I didn't care for Boba, like most people. I didn't care too much for Boba.
I was kind of disappointed by Boba. Yeah.
I loved Mandalorian. I liked Obi-Wan because I thought it was a good story. Now, if they do a second season, leave Little Leia out of it.
Yeah.
I couldn't get past episode 2, as you know.
I liked her as a character and as the story, but the whole rescue was the entire season, and that's fine for a one-shot series.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think they could leave her out of it. But you could do almost an entire another series season of Andor and bring Jimmy Smits in playing Bail on it.
Yeah.
Or have Jimmy Smits as an appearance in this series, just to have a conversation with Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
I mean, it's doing some fan service, but it's also bringing these little small things together because so much of it was dropped. They had this whole story of the what was it? They had like 300,000 or 300 signatures for and that was part of a subplot actually of episode 3. That was a big plot for Padme. And when they dropped that plot, that's what killed a lot of her character story from episode 3, other than being baby mama. All right. And so they could bring some of that back even here where they were trying to do that storyline there.
I gotcha. Well, there you go. There's your Star Wars thing. Guys, I appreciate it. I don't have to change the summary.
More Star Wars than we've had in a decade.
That's right. Sean?
We have Star Wars talk. You just have to listen to the first hour and 45 minutes of cats and burgers.
Sean, tell us where we can find you at.
You can find my fine podcast, The Pittsburgh Nerd, damn near anywhere you can find podcasts. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. And that's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Are you guys reading any Floppy Award nominations?
Yes, I am preparing a Floppy Award nomination as we speak.
Okay.
And we should have Brian just do a Star Wars something.
Brian, you want to do a Star Wars Floppy?
I was going to be sending in bribes. I'm trying to get that
Canadian
the for the Canadian of the year because I'm trying to figure out how to do this liquor Christmas tree.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I still have technically like 22 days of vacation between now and the end of the year. And I've done like single night drive ups to Grand Rapids. Going to Columbus or Cincinnati is not much different.
Wow.
I could drive up, pick up the alcohol, drop it on Jason's doorstep, drive away.
There you go. You got to get past the gate guard first.
There's no gate guard. Well, gentlemen.
I was going to throw.
I'll throw extra bottles at Dana Gardens even.
What'd you say, Sean?
I was going to throw my hat in for Pittsburgher of the year.
The worst person of the year.
But it seems that but it seems that Stork has beat me to that.
Well, that is funny because the bad idea of the week is number 287 is Stork. That's it. Just Stork.
That's it.
Stork.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
288 is Ben Roethlisberger. Anyway, so moving on. Thank you, gentlemen.
Who's your daddy?
And we will be back next week. Roger says goodbye.